Today I'm going to talk about how we have made of construction one of the most terrifying professions in the world, and the only one we can blame is ourselves. The World Health Organization says that the global warming change produced by the CO2 emissions have caused 15,000 deaths per year. As we can find this image, taken in the meeting of the climate change in 2009 in Copenhagen, it wasn't exactly a party. Instead, it was a complete failure because none of the goals established were accomplished. In fact, some research about this problem state that if we continue this line by 2015, in the worst of the scenarios, the air will be unbreathable, the fossil fuels will be gone, and the earth will not be able to live in. It's not only a matter of being ecological, but a responsibility of every one of us to know the things that are affecting us. That's why I want to inform how the construction industry is one of the main producers of CO2 and how an intelligent choice of more ecological materials can dramatically reduce the CO2 emissions. I will accomplish this by explaining to you how the common materials we use today are so dangerous, how an ecological material can become from a sustainable resource, and what are the advantages of choosing more ecological materials. I will first start by explaining to you how the common materials we use today are so dangerous. According to Ryan Edward at his book The Basic Guide of Sustainability, he expressed by his research that the construction produced the 50% of the CO2 in the world through lighting, heating, transportation, and the production of materials. Among the most used and dangerous materials in the buildings are the concrete, steel, glass, and wood. And the normal life cycle of these materials are the extraction from natural resources, where they are converted into raw materials for construction. Then they will go to the construction site, then to the building that is in use, and in the end, they will finish up in the landfills, where they don't have any more use at all. To explain this in a better way, I will quickly show you the concrete production process, which includes the extraction, transportation to the factory, pulverization, hydrogenation, classification, packaging, transportation to the sell points, and transportation to the building site. As you can see in every step of the process, it implies a lot of CO2 production. Therefore, you can see the problems we face as society are big, but we're in the challenge to find a sustainable way to keep constructing our buildings. That's how we get to the second point, which is how an ecological material can come from a sustainable resource. There are three major ways that we can use to make materials from a sustainable source. They are the reuse, the recycle, and the reduction of the existing materials we dispose. The reuse of the materials is one of the best ways that we can dramatically reduce the CO2 emissions by creating a flexible material that can be discarded at any moment and put it in another building or place. Another example is the recycle of a material that, even though this is ecological better, it implies a low production of CO2 when it transforms from one use to another. But it is better that lost the material itself. The last one is the reduce, and as the name implies, is the reduction of non-renewable resources and materials which we don't have anymore. If we manage to apply these theories in a good way, we will dramatically reduce the CO2 emissions that the construction material produces. That's why, before starting a new project, we might need to consider the advantages of choosing more ecological materials. A smart choice for more ecological materials from the start of the project can bring a lot of advantages of how well the building will perform and do not create CO2 emissions. One example of this is that is not used anymore is the construction with earth materials. As not a lot of you might know, but the buildings made of earth materials are better behaved to the earthquakes. One proof of this are the ancient buildings that have been made of earth materials, and so far they are still up. These type of techniques in recent years are they have formed a viable way to construction. Another smart choice is the construction with materials that come from PET bottles. Where they can be transformed to bricks, and they can be armed like Legos, which they are very easy to assemble in a way that they can be armed and unarmed in every structure, and they're very behaved in a structural way. It's a responsibility of every one of us to take care about the things that matter and give our children a new future. So they can have schools, house, and places to work. We'll accomplish this by knowing how the common materials we use today are so dangerous, how the ecological material can become from a sustainable resource, and what are the advantages of choosing more ecological materials. We only have one world, and we need to take the best path, which we don't destroy all the good things that they can offer us. And sometime we will give something back. Thank you.
Ya, chicos, madre, sí lo supo.
Lo podemos quitar, ¿no?
No, sí, lo puedo editar.